Hello everyone and happy Women's History Month. My name is Brittney Vincent Buckmeyer and I would like to welcome you all to our first Arthur Ashe Institute for Urban Health Roundtable discussion. In partnership with Public Health Solutions WholeYouNYC initiative, we have put together a special panel discussion titled Beyond the Stigma, Prioritizing the Whole Woman, where we will be discussing mental health. This roundtable brings together experts and advocates to talk openly about the challenges women face, the barriers to seeking support, and the resources that can help women prioritize their well-being. Our goal is to raise awareness, reduce stigma, and remind women that taking care of your mental health is essential. We would like to welcome Dr. Marilyn Fraser, who is the Chief Executive Officer at the Arthur Ashe Institute for Urban Health, where we utilize a model of community health empowerment and engagement to promote health equity and social justice. Welcome, Dr. Fraser. Next, we would like to welcome Debra Hare-Bey, the owner of Oh My Heavenly Hair, whose salon we are currently in, and who is also a business owner and community advocate. Welcome, Debra. Last, we would like to welcome Krystal Miller, who is a licensed clinical social worker, certified mental health integrative medicine provider, certified yoga teacher, and trauma-conscious yoga method provider who actively conducts work surrounding mental health. Please welcome Krystal Miller. When we talk about prioritizing the whole woman, what does that mean to you, and why do you think mental health has historically been left out of that conversation, particularly among communities of color?
Prioritizing our whole body health. You know, that is something that I wish we did more. That is not an active state of being for a lot of women. As a natural hair professional, I see a lot of women in my chair. And stress and, you know, the day-to-day all has an effect on your mental health. And if it has an effect on your mental health, that is part of your whole body care, right? And it's disruptive. And so when that is happening and you ignore that part, it has an effect on your entire body.
Yeah, and I totally agree with you. I think that oftentimes when we think of health, we're thinking of disease, and we're thinking that you're well if you don't have a sickness or an illness, in terms of I don't have diabetes or I don't have heart disease, and people do not think about the entire well-being, because your social health, mental health, your community networks, the people that you talk to, all of those things are important. And I think within our community, when we think of mental health, it's so stigmatized that we don't even want to bring it into the conversation. When people ask us how we are doing, we are trained almost to say we're doing well.
Yeah.
You know, how is everything? I'm doing well. Although the world could be crumbling around you, you feel as though that you have to. And I think just culturally, as people of color, we've always been expected to say that we're doing well even when things are not.
You know, even broader than that, historically, it's kind of like twofold. One, you were never in the conversation about mental health. A lot of the pieces and theories around mental health have never centered around Black people, unless it was in a way to stigmatize us even further and marginalize us more. So that's one half. The second is that mental health has always been seen as this luxury item, right? Where it's like, that's just money to be given away, where you can go talk to whoever else, which there is merit in that. Like, I always believe like there is like therapy and therapeutic, and both are important. So it's important to have people who you're able to just talk to, and being able to go to that specialist to give you a little bit of extra support with that as well. So we're fighting this uphill battle where across the diaspora, we have not been given that luxury to sit and talk about our feelings freely in a way that's unbiased. That's also another piece there too, in a way that's unbiased. I'll also add here, because it's like I could go down the whole like history rabbit hole
Please
here.
do.
But there's also a piece here that once we started like really expanding within this country at least, we moved away from who our healers were in our communities, who was another anchor that we had when we did not have access to psychologists and psychiatrists. So all of those mixed together, in addition to like literally just trying to survive and be Black in this country, right? It created this snowball of a stigma that we have right now. And we're fighting against it as much as we can. Shout out to Gen Z who's actively having this conversation. But it is an uphill battle nonetheless.
Yeah. Can I go back to the word luxury for a moment? When we talk about that word luxury, I see it twofold, right? We don't have the luxury, as we were raised, to even think about some sort of thing going on in your head, right? Get over it. Get the job done, because we just don't have the time, right? We don't have the wherewithal to do it, right? And then when you go back to the word luxury, it's not a luxury. It is a necessary part of health. And so you need it, right? So I'd like to have that change. And I think in this environment, it is changing. Because we see the effects are so dramatic and so, in its totality of its wrecking our entire body is necessary. Right? It's necessary. So,
it takes us from resilience, which is how we got here, to like active resistance, saying no, we need to focus on this so that we continue on as much as we can.
And move that needle, right? And have those conversations and be bold about it and intentional too about it. Intentional about having those types of discussions that sometimes in our communities are shunned.
And hopefully it'll open it up where every insurance will take it. Because I'm not sure that it does. But I will say when I go to the doctor, that is a question that every single practitioner asks me. How are you? Are you okay? And I like that because that wasn't before. So they are aware of it and trying to get you to help if you need it.
I was going to also add something that you mentioned about, like, I feel like especially as Black people, we learn to like compartmentalize our emotions and like we have to go about our day to day, and then sometimes we're taught like, oh well, you have to be grateful because you have a roof over your head, you have running water, you have food. So like, what is there to complain about? And so I think that's something that we have to kind of move away from what you guys were mentioning.
And Superwoman too. I no longer want to be Superwoman.
Exactly.
Right? I still have to learn how to, if I am having a moment of relaxation, that it doesn't feel like I'm wasting time.
Exactly.
Because that's how I was raised. What are you doing? You're not doing anything, you're wasting time.
And it's always that an idle mind is like the devil's playground. We should be all constantly being in motion.
So even with all the knowledge, that's a battle for me. To take the moment, and that's how I look at it, as moments. That's how I get my mental health, in moments. Because sometimes you can't have a whole day. Sometimes you can't, see a specialist or run on vacation. You have to get your moments as you can get them, and hopefully a moment will turn into, a full day.
You were gonna add something, Dr. Fraser?
No, just quickly, one of the things that I think it may come up in our discussion, but faith as well. And we are people of faith, and oftentimes people do not think that faith and mental health go together. Mental wellness, like sometimes you're thought that, okay, if you're trusting in God, you shouldn't be depressed. You shouldn't feel sick, or you shouldn't feel that you're out of control.
Oh, and God so don't give you more than you can carry.
Yes, all of those things. And so that's important too, to think about that part of the conversation.
I'm glad you brought that up because I was thinking that as well. So we'll move on to the second question. So our second question is, culture plays a huge role in how we talk about or silence mental health conversations. How has your cultural background influenced the way you personally navigate your mental wellness?
Well, growing up, I think we all had that, and I'm sorry to say crazy cousin sitting in the corner, because that's how we talked about it, right? It was not something that was looked upon as an option to have, to even talk about, to even get any help with. It just wasn't. It just wasn't. It wasn't looked upon as anything good, anything part of health. just, it just was a bad thing.
Yeah.
Right? Obviously, as an adult now, I see mental health as, I think we all need a therapist. There's so much stress put on us. There's so much outside noise that I don't know that we have the wherewithal to deal with it by ourselves. I know I don't. I know I don't. As a natural hairstylist, I'm a lot of people's therapist. I am the first line of defense in a lot of ways. This is absolutely a safe place, and I take that very seriously. And so I have an option to say, hey, listen to what she's saying, and then if I have the opportunity to refer her to the next stage if she needs that help, right? Or if there's something really that I think is taken out of her hands that she can get some help.
Yeah.
So I like being in that position.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we touched on it a little bit too with thinking when you said that, what do you have to be depressed about, right? You have a roof over your head, you have clothes on your back, you have food on your table. Parents may say that to their kids. A kid comes home and the kid is dealing with so much. And when we think of our society today with cyberbullying and all the things that they have to deal with that we probably didn't have to deal with, but oftentimes with our culture, we're expected to be strong, and we're expected to show forth ourselves in quote unquote a positive light defined by our environment and so forth. And so parents are notorious growing up. Parents were notorious for telling you that, you don't have a job to go to, you don't have to work 2 jobs. You all you have to do is to go to school, and so you should be fine. And you don't have anything else to worry about. So why are you depressed? Why are you complaining? You don't have anything to complain about. And I think those things just have developed over the course of time that sometimes we don't even want to tell people when we're feeling down, right? Because people expect you to show up in a certain way, and you don't want to share that because then it's a sign of weakness. You're not able to handle things on your own because we're strong black women. We're supposed to be that. Right, and we're supposed to show up in a certain way, and those things have kind of like pushed us further away. So I'm glad that we are able to think about that, right? That that we need to take care of ourselves. Someone said self-care is not selfish, right? That we do really need to take care of ourselves.
Any thoughts, Krystal?
So I want to come into this from the perspective of being first in America. So my family's Caribbean, they're from Jamaica. And growing up here in New York and everything else like that, right? I remember everything that you said, Doc, right? Like, you have roof over your head, you have this, you have this, what you have to be depressed about. As I started my journey in being a therapist, right, I wrote some articles about mental health, about like anxiety, my own personal experience with anxiety. And I remember my parents coming to me like, gave you all of this, what happened? And I'm just like, it's not about you. None of this is about you. And it really is right now in this particular, like in 2026, really breaking that mold. It's not about what is provided tangibly.
Yes.
Right?
Exactly.
It is, how are people navigating what it means to be black in a society that does not want you here? Right? We go into the whole social political context right now, but we're constantly fighting. And when we talk about mental health, we have to think about like, how do people conceptualize and process what it means to exist right now? And everybody's body is not equipped to deal with everything. Right? So that has always been my mission, even once I graduated from grad school and writing those articles. And my parents have come around now. Shout out to them. But it has always been like creating that space for people to be able to talk, because we're not given spaces to talk. That's how melanated masks became a thing, because we're all black people having these masks on. We need to be able to talk about these things in our own ways, in our communities, like we're doing right now. Because if we don't, then nothing changes. It can't be just hush hush whispers in the back. It can't be that cousin's little touch, don't worry about them, they'll be fine. Right? Bringing them into community means that we're talking about it.
it's not about shaming, because oftentimes, in our culture, we think of that as a shameful thing, and so we have to hide it under the rug. So you can't tell people about our business. You're going out there and you're sharing that. That's not good.
You have a problem, you talk about it amongst family.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank God that at times are changing.
Yeah.
They are. Unfortunately, not quick enough, but they are changing. Perceptions and opportunities of wellness, and being able to say proudly, I have a therapist. I actually have two. And I've had, and being able to have it for a while. So we do see it changing.
Yeah. And I'm glad you brought that up, because the next question I was going to ask was, how do you think today's culture and social media has moved the needle around mental health? But also, do you think that it's added new pressures for women?
Absolutely. There are times around my mental health I have to disconnect, for sure. The pressure is so real. And I'm a full adult, and I understand that these people didn't wake up with everything. It appears to be that. And you feel the pressure. You feel it. So as an adult, I feel it. I cannot imagine what young people are going through. Right? Your parents are working as hard as they can. I understand that you understand as a young person that things don't materialize that quickly, but it doesn't translate into reality. And so the pressure is real. The pressure is real. On the other hand, I do think that social media has moved the needle, because you have people openly talking about their stressors, about their breakdowns, about their mental health issues. They are openly talking about it. And it's a wonderful thing to see, not in their distress, but in their sharing. Because if it's happening to them, it's happening to 5 or 10 or 15 more, 15 other people, right? And so it has moved the needle.
I agree with you, because when we think about the media and folks that are prominent, that have talked about mental illness, and they've talked about it openly, and for folks from the Caribbean, that somebody comes out and shares that, and you're kind of like, oh my goodness, they said that, and what do they have to be sad about? They have a lot of money, they have fame, they have all of these things, and yet they're coming out and they're saying that, and so it gives lends voice to the issue, and that people can see people that they can actually see somebody that has mental illness, and like you say, they have those struggles, and they're dealing with it, and sometimes openly, and it helps us to also kind of like be intentional about helping and recognizing that we need to share resources and do those things in our community, ways that you work in the community, that you work in talking to people, because people are right there before your eyes. And I think the next generation coming up, they're more open and they're vocal about this, and they're kind of like, okay, I'm feeling overwhelmed, I need to take some time off. Before we would be like, oh no, I have this to do. If I take time off, who's going to take care of this? And how is this going to get done? And then sometimes you have to say, it's going to get done. Because if you're not here, there's going to be a way that it's going to continue.
I say that all the time. All the time. Somebody's going to figure it out. Yes. I wanted to know if you had anything to add to that before.
Yes, it's just great things. I'll just add that it's the pendulum swing has been real. Yeah. As far as we definitely are moving the needle, talking online, having this conversation, which is amazing. And there's still a little bit of misinformation that's there too, that we need to talk about as well.
Glad you brought that.
Right?
Yeah.
I love people going to therapy and using all the therapy terms, not necessarily in the right way. So there's still a little ways to go with that, but at least the conversation is happening. So it's important, even if we are using social media, yes, we're seeing these curated lives of people who are going through their own mental health struggles. But also look at the therapists that are on there too. Have the balance of thought that's going on, so that you're getting both sides of information. And also, it's okay to turn it off at the same time.
Absolutely.
Turn it off. Go in the real world too, because I think sometimes we look at celebrities and we're like, oh, they went through this. Oh, I go through this too. But your friend has been depressed for a year, and you ain't look at her yet. You ain't tapping, you ain't checking on her. Like so we're getting there is what I'm trying to get at.
You know, I'm glad you mentioned therapists, because that's the scary thing about social media. Everybody's a therapist and everybody is not a therapist. So that I don't like, right? And I would caution people to be careful about who you are listening to, as you said. But also going back to children, because this is, unfortunately, you hear this a lot. The horrific bullying that leads to people taking their own lives is extremely stressful. And I know it's a lot of pressure for young people. And you may not necessarily share that with your parents, right? And so that's something we have to be very aware of, because the mental stress is traumatic and dramatic, and it is taking kids' lives. So there's the pressure.
And to what both of you said, it made me think about how social media is also adding these unrealistic expectations for people who are on social media, and that heightens the mental aspect of things, where like you feel like you have to be like this, or everybody's have to have money at this certain age. And then even too with like AI now, people are using AI for therapy, and like the conversation that AI is always going to reaffirm what you're already thinking or putting into it. So encouraging people to not use ChatGPT, but still get a therapist.
The key part here is that mental health care, mental wellness care is a human to human interaction. I can learn all the theories. Without me actually building a relationship with somebody, it means nothing. And AI cannot do that.
You sure?
So the phrase strong black woman is often used as a compliment. What comes to mind when you hear this phrase?
Overworked, overlooked, undercared for, way too much on our back, way too much of everything. It's a term that is not, I want to move away from it. That's why we are saying soft life. And, like I said, I don't want to be Superwoman. I don't. There's only but so much we can do. That translates into going to the doctor. If we're really in pain, we don't even get pain medication to help, right? Because we're a strong black woman, right? Well, I don't want to be strong.
What do you want to be?
That sort of strong.
Okay.
I want to have a soft life.
Yeah.
That's what I want, right? So I understand conceptually what a strong black woman is, and we are, and we have been, right? And that's how we get things done in real life, right? And that's how we move this world forward, because we move this world forward, right? That's how we do it. However, the ramifications of what that does to our mental health, to our person, to our bodies is detrimental. So I don't want to move. I want to move away from that term.
That's so, that I agree with you. Yes, we are strong black women. Yes, that's how we've gotten to the places that we've gotten to. But it's a term that's so loaded with expectations, and sometimes unrealistic expectations. And we do so much to ourselves in trying to keep that, right? To be this strong black woman, as you said, Debra, we don't even get pain medication sometimes. I know my mom has bad, terrible arthritis and knee pain and really needs knee replacement. But she'll do without pain meds, and she's like, oh yeah, I can bear this. And we're like, it's painful just watching you walk. So you need to do something. And it's just something that it puts a lot of strain on us, and where people expect a lot of us, and we also internalize that, and we put a lot of strain on ourselves that we shouldn't be putting on ourselves, and we really do need to have this softer life. We need to really sit back and say, okay, enough is enough. There are times that I just want to be taken care of, as opposed to taking care of others sometimes, and just being careful and having respite, so to speak, just to relax, just not to have a calendar and agenda that's full from the morning till the night, just because I want to do that and I want to be perceived as being strong. And so I think it puts a lot of expectations there and just loaded. And so, yes, I would want to move away from the term without taking away from our strength as Black women, taking away from what we offer to the world and what we bring to the world and what we show up. I think we can do all of those things without necessarily having those expectations that impact our mental health in such a negative way.
Can we let somebody else do all those things?
Yeah, I think we should.
Maybe men, they don't have enough on their plates.
But that's the point.
Yeah.
Right? When we talk about strong Black women, we aren't strong because we woke up today to be like, I'm going to just carry the world on my shoulder. That's not what it was. We became strong because we didn't have a choice. Right. We didn't have the supports. And things still got to get done.
Yeah.
That's what it was. So when we look at our mothers, our grandmothers, our aunties, so on and so forth, we see them doing all these things. But are you sleeping? Are you able to like just sit and be for a moment? I remember I did like one of my very, very first workshops, and I asked the audience, I asked them like, how many of y'all have seen your mother cry? And in a room of 30, 40 people, like a handful maybe raised their hand.
I don't think I did, honestly. I don't think I ever saw my mom cry.
Think about that for a moment.
Yeah. I have thought about that. I only see her cry at funerals. Outside of funeral, I've never seen her cry.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen my mom cry. Never thought about that.
We have been so conditioned to hurt in silence and hurt in privacy. So all the world gets to see is our strength, not recognizing that is our strength as well. And you get to now model it for the next generations. So I'm with y'all. I would love to get rid of it. Give me the soft life. Give me the supported life.
Yes, exactly. Yes, the supported life.
Because we can do all things when we're supported.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And how could, well, we kind of touched into that. So we'll move on to the next question, but thank you guys for sharing so much about that. So we've talked about what women can do for themselves, but let's shift the focus a little bit. What do organizations, institutions, and even hospitals need to do better when it comes to supporting the mental health of women of color? Yeah, I'm looking at the two of you. Yeah.
So, organizations, institutions, and other places, they do play an important role in supporting women of color. One of the things, like when I think about institutions and I think about training the next generation, for instance, of healthcare professionals of color, people that are culturally adept to knowing and really paying attention to patients in a certain way, bringing that to the table. When we look at mental health and mental health care providers, we do not have a lot of people of color. We have very few, very, very few.
I appreciate Krystal.
And then, but the sad thing about it is that they get overworked, right? Because everyone goes to them because there's just such a small group, and you want people that look like you. You want people that can hear you, and when you show up, that they understand what you're coming with, and you want that. And sometimes you don't get that because you don't have folks that are like that. So institutions need to be intentional about recruiting and training people of color in this space, and people need to put dollars into that, put resources for that to happen. When we think about going out into the community and doing work, one of the things that the Institute has done is we've done this peer-to-peer program where youth have said that we're the ones that our friends come to, and we're the ones that they talk to about their illnesses, and they talk to about what's going on, their trials and tribulations and all of that. But we don't have the resources. We don't know how to lead them. We don't have the tools. And so we developed this peer-to-peer program, and with licensed clinical social workers that can train our youth so that they're able to be the advocate and the peer advocate for others. And then going out into the community and working, with salons and salon owners that meet people right where they are. They're seeing people, they're talking to people every day about these things, and you're able to impart the knowledge there, and you're able to share resources that people leave feeling better and feeling empowered to do more, right? And to share that information. So there's a lot that our communities can do. There's a lot that institutions need to be intentional about in terms of their training. There's a lot where community-based organizations and going out into the community and utilizing the resources that are in the community, the strengths that we have within our community and so forth. So I think there's a lot that could be done. Yeah, and then changing policy, that's another entire thing, but involving legislators and changing policy so that we can really shift the needle and that we're saying like, okay, yes, we are going to put dollars to training, for instance. We are going to have better mental health resources. We are going to think about all the things that people show up with and make sure that there are resources behind those that people feel as though they're heard and they're cared for.
Krystal?
The only thing that's coming to mind, in addition to everything you mentioned, is simply just listening.
Yeah.
Listen to Black women, Black people, when we say that we're hurting. Because that small little nugget gets overlooked so often. Even like last week, I spoke to at least 2 Black women who talked to me about all of the medical trauma they had because people did not listen to their pain. And that is tragic and should not be. So it's listening to when Black women are telling us that they are in pain, no matter what the pain is. But also, I'm an advocate of fully decolonizing the work that we do. That is the work that I do in community, of questioning how we got here, questioning the theories that we use, questioning the books and resources that we have. Because like I mentioned in the beginning, none of this was made with Black people in mind. So we're putting Black people in boxes that we were never supposed to be in. So thankfully there's so many people out here who are doing the work, who look like me, but it's not enough yet. And that's what it is. And once we all get trained and we keep having these kind of conversations, we all now get to go into organizations and keep having conversations. Train other organizations and institutions about this is what it looks like, even if we're the only voice in the room. Because oftentimes and once we start doing that and people listen to us as well, we get to see the bigger changes that could go from there as well.
For sure.
As a non-clinician, I see things a little differently. I get to have an organization like Arthur Ashe come into my salon that helps me be that middle road that I could now offer people information and help and services, right? And so this is a safe place, right? Where I go to my medical center is filled with people that does look like me. And so I'm really happy about that. And then as an advocate, each one teach one, each one help one, right? Mandatory, right? And so that's how we get to share the knowledge. And when we see people need help, being able to, we may not be able to help them, but we can refer them to where they need to be, right? So certainly we can absolutely use more help, more services. But it's not left for one person to do, it's for all of us to do. Every single person.
Absolutely.
Right? Absolutely. So, but I think what both of you said was right, spot on. That's just my experience and surrounding myself with those organizations that have wellness and community first, because that's what's important to me.
And so let's get personal for a moment. Do you feel truly heard when you seek support for mental health?
At this moment, I do. At this moment, I do. As I said, when I go to the medical center, the first question they ask me, "Are you okay? Would you like to see someone?" And that's with each and every doctor that I see. They ask that question. And so in this moment, I do. However, when I leave the medical center and I walk in my community, that's a different story. And it's extremely painful because we have a lot of homelessness. We have a lot of mental health issues. And you can tell they're not getting help. right? You can tell they're not getting help, and that hurts, right? So
Yeah. I don't think always I get necessarily hurt because people have expectations of you that sometimes are unrealistic. And even advocating for people. I'm at a place now where my parents are, I'm trying to advocate for them. And even coming in as a clinician, sometimes it's just crazy because you expect certain things and you do not get it, and you're sometimes trying to fight your own folks to get them to listen to what's going on and what the issue is. When my dad was in the hospital, it was like it was just crazy just thinking about advocating for him and his health. And we kept on saying, yes, in addition to what you see physically with him, he's gone through a traumatic event. He lost a son, right, in a tragic event, and that has to have something to do with it. So when you're treating him, you cannot just treat the labs that you see. You have to really treat the underlying mental health issue there. And sometimes it just seems as though it just went over their heads, and you're kind of fighting for that kind of stuff. So I don't think always, you just have to keep on being the squeaky wheel, kind of keep on doing it and being intentional and tireless about those things to make sure that you're heard.
Did you want to add anything?
It's slowly but surely. That's what it is. There are definitely some spots in my life where I feel like I am heard, personal and medical, and the other spots I'm still looking. That's what it is. I'm slowly rebuilding my medical team, as people who I've had with me before have now retired. So now I'm like back on the hunt for certain people. But I'm thankful to have a Black therapist. I'm thankful to have a Black gyno who I'm able to lay my burdens down and make it listen to me and point me in the right direction is just amazing. And yeah, building out that medical team. I'm throughout my own mental health journey, talking more to my community a lot about like what I need, and modeling that for them as well, so that they can also tell me like, hey, this is what I need in this particular chapter of my life too, and kind of figuring out how to voice my own supports that I need in a way that is ever changing, because it varies on my season.
I had a question too that as you were speaking, for folks who may be like uninsured or underinsured and aren't able to get like access to therapy and therapists, what are other avenues they can probably rely on to find support for their mental wellness?
Yeah, you asked that. So there's a couple of directories that I love recommending to people. One is Open Path Collective that offers low cost services to anyone, and when I say low cost, I mean like $30 to $70 per session. And I think it's amazing for people who are uninsured, because you are able to have access to so many different therapists, including Black therapists, because I'm on there too. So that's one. Two is the Loveland Foundation. They open up cohorts for free therapy vouchers, I think every season. So we just entered spring, so it's probably open right now. So you get 12 free therapy vouchers that you could use for so many different directories, because many, again, Black therapists use it. I use it. I've used it for my therapist. It is out there. And I think another one is Black Girls Smile. I think they give 6 or 8 vouchers also for free, which is amazing. So we're out here, right? If none of those are available to you, I would always say look for your community healers, right? Look for elders, look for the church mothers if you got it, look for spiritual mothers if you need that, right? Like, they are out there too, just to give you a little something. And being here in New York, there are so many events that are happening around that gives you therapeutic services, depending on whatever it is that you need.
Yeah, love that. Thank you so much for sharing that. As you were talking, and I was like, but what are like other ways other people can, We're good on time?
Last question.
Okay. All right. So for our closing question, and for everyone watching, what is one thing you want them to walk away knowing or doing differently when it comes to their mental health? Who wants to take it? We'll start. Whoever wants to go first.
That's a very loaded question.
Mm-hmm.
You know, your body, your your intuition will never lie. It just won't lie to you. That is your fail-safe, right? And so if you feel something, if something doesn't feel right, or you feel off, or you feel bothered, there's something to that, right? It's okay to share that with someone. It's okay to seek help. It's okay to maybe talk to a friend if you don't feel like you have a safe place. It's okay to seek out some answers. It's okay, right? Yeah, I'll leave it at that. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. And, yeah, I'll just add that you matter.
Yeah.
That you're unique and you matter, and that it's okay to say that you're not doing well, and it's okay to seek that help. And it's okay not to be the strong black woman.
Yes,
and with everything that comes with that term, and it's okay to say that I just want space now, and so on. And it's okay to talk to others and to share, and not to expect to carry it alone, right? And your body tells you, as you say, there are things that come up in our bodies, and that just really know that you're important. And if you do not take care of yourself, you're not going to be here to take care of the people that you want to take care of and the people that you love.
Yeah.
So really, you really need to take care of yourself and the whole self.
Yeah, can't pour into another cup half empty kind of situation. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, such great ones. So I'll keep it real then. And it's timely that we're in a beauty salon for this. The same way how if you go to one hairdresser and they mess you up, you go find a new one. Do the same thing for a therapist.
Yeah,
I think some people get so like rigid around like I tried it this one time, it didn't work, or I tried a couple and it didn't work. Find someone else. Because if you need your hair done, you will find somebody. So we are also human as therapists, and it is not expected for us to be a one size fits all, and that is okay. Go find somebody else, because your person is out there.
I agree. I went to like 3 till I found the right one. Yep. And it takes a couple sessions, and you kind of feel it out, and you're like, maybe this is not really working for me. Let's try something different.
And trust, it is no harm, no foul.
Yeah.
We will give you recommendations and referrals.
Yeah.
Because what's most important, again, is you and your relationship with your therapist. The same way how your relationship with your hairdresser.
You don't think find community, right? Community is there.
Yeah.
Right, find your community is there. And sometimes that's daunting, and sometimes it seems like it isn't so, but I believe it is. And for those that it is not, then I think someone said find your church or your, sometimes your doctor would be able to, help you, assist you in the things that you may not know what to do. So,
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. So I just want to thank you ladies so much for being here, for being a part of this conversation. You guys added so much value to this, and so I think hopefully the folks are coming away with something from this conversation. And yeah, thank you so much again.
thank you. I know I walked away with something.
Again, thank you to our panelists, and we also want to thank and acknowledge our partnership with Public Health Solutions and their WholeYouNYC social care network that allows us to connect with our community members with much needed resources, including mental health. If you'd like to be connected to these resources, including things like mental health, housing, and food assistance, please check the link to the Social Care Network screener. If you're a Medicaid member and or reside in Brooklyn, Queens, or Manhattan, we might be able to connect you to community resources. So that concludes our first roundtable with the Arthur Ashe Institute for Urban Health and our discussion titled Beyond the Stigma, Prioritizing Whole Women. We hope you enjoyed our conversation, and thank you so much for being here. Bye.